Hey everybody, this is Leon, and today I'm going to show you how to get started with XR Fragments in 2024. Let's go. Okay, first you want to go to xrfragment.org, the website. It has all the information you need, and you will find out that you actually don't have to be a programmer to create content with XR Fragments, or without them, actually. So there are various ways to use XR fragments. You can do it as a developer or just as a designer. Let's go for the easy one. Not that design is easy, no. But let's go with the easiest way to use XR fragments. Basically, there is on the demo viewer a hamburger menu which allows you to load a 3D file. As well as a share button, which allows you to download the current scene. So download.glb, can save it. So now if I would load this, download.glb, then you can see we're getting exactly the same scene. With exactly the same functionality, we have our links. This would open up some websites. This would open up other things, a connection pop-up, teleporting, like everything works because they're basically embedded in the website. So having that said, this is quite a complex scene. So what we basically want is a starting point. And if you go to source code, then there's an example directory with an assets directory with an example.glb or .blend in case you're using Blender. But Blender can also load GLB directly. I will show you. And we can download that file like our scene.glb, and we can also go to the example browser full screen mode. This would give us the same demo viewer, and here we can load our scene. So this is a very simple scene with just a few buttons. It's a great starting point, as it shows here. And if we click this button here, it will open this link, the XR fragment site. We click this, it will open a matrix room. If we click this will teleport us past to another plane. So let's open up Blender and let's load this example.glb, and then we can modify it and load it again and see if it is sort of working nicely in this XR fragment ecosystem. So let's delete everything here. Let's import the GLB. Let's go to temp. Ooh. Temp R scene. Okay, this is great. So we have our scene here, and now we can hopefully zoom it in. I'm using the touchpad here, which is a bit cumbersome, but we'll manage. So here we see the same button. So when I click this XR fragment button here, then you can see if you go to object properties and to the bottom to custom properties, you will see here. Oh, can I make it bigger? No. Oh, wait. I think in preferences this can be done. Interface. Yeah, here. Boom. All right. So here you can see the value of this href. Similarly, here this is the same, and so this teleport thingy the pos, which is an XR fragment. It's referencing other plane. And if you just look in all the objects here, these are all the objects in the scene, you can see other plane. We zoom out, you can see that this orange line, it's selecting this other one. So basically, that's explaining the teleport. Teleporting you to the origin of this other plane object. So this is really handy. We can just perhaps create this cube here. Let's make a custom property for that one. Need to set it to string. Property name is href. And then we're setting up a link here. One more thing. If you will go to scene properties, you can also find some properties here. And notice this hash one. This is the default scene XR fragments. And this allows you to sort of initialize the scene in a way you want it to be initialized. So for example, if I want the scene to start at this other plane, then I would put this there. Also, if I want to hide the cube, I can enter -cube. Yeah, so you can see that this thing is called cube. So these are great ways to toggle certain things or hide certain things during scene load. And in the same way, I'm going to remove this now. In the same way, if I have a button here, for example, this pos is other plane. I can also go to its custom property and, for example, add -cube and -cube. You can check the documentation, xrfragments.org, on how this works. But this basically would hide the cube when I click this button. Or when it's hidden, and I remove the minus, now it would basically show the cube if it would be hidden. So these are really cool ways of hiding objects with a certain name. You can also hide objects with a group, because let's say I tag, that's another XR fragment. If I tag this object, for example, button pink. So if I also add this tag to another button, string tag button purple. So now I have two tags, button and purple. This means that, let's say if I press this button, if I press the cube, then I could do -button. This means that if I click the cube, it would basically hide all the objects which are tagged with button. If I would do -purple, it would only hide the second button, and pink only this button. So if I do button without the minus, then it would basically show all the objects which are tagged with button, which are these two buttons. I'm not going to do this now. I'm going to leave this. But that's how you can basically add basic interaction showing hiding objects. And now we're going to export this to temp our scene.gov. This one. Also important is that to tick these boxes. so that the custom properties get included. And then we save it. Or at least I think we did, because the font is so big now that I cannot even see what is going on. Let's do it one more time to be sure. Yeah, okay. We were good. Also, take this, perhaps could be handy for future. For the future. Okay, so now we have that. Now let's load our model into this editor, or scene.glb. And there we go. Now let's press this. Yeah, the mouse over already hints that the link is there. By the way, also check out this project page. If you think you're using cool technology, think again. Just go through this list and realize there is so much cool stuff out there, which you haven't heard of, perhaps. So this is a very, very simple way to just design linked experiences. You can create your own 3D movies, which perhaps link in the end to another experience. You can have an educational experience, which perhaps just organizes web links in a spatial place. Sometimes websites can be very confusing with all these links. A sitemap also doesn't really help. With these kind of spatial experiences, it gives us a really great opportunity to organize things which are otherwise not really easy to organize. For example, chat rooms. They can be very confusing to see this big list of chat rooms in your chat client or Messenger or on Slack, and this could be a great way to basically create buttons which are outbound links to a new browser tab which opens that chat room. Man, there's so many possibilities with this. Anyways, I hope you like this easy approach. There's also another approach, of course, which is that you go to the XR Fragments site, and then you can click this code pen. This opens up a HTML snippet, which basically loads A-Frame, which is a popular WebXR 3JS framework. And it loads the XR Fragment A-Frame component, which allows you to just add this to an A-Frame entity. This loads any GLB file, could be locally from a folder, could be a URL, as a starting point for your XR Fragments compatible experience. And here you can basically go crazy with A-Frame functionality. There is a lot of cool stuff on their website, on their in the documentation. So this is a road to take. Another road is basically going to the hamburger menu, pressing share, and then press this button, clone and self-host. This takes you to a Git repository, which is forkable and very basic. It only has the HTML file, like in the code pen, and it has a GLB file as a starting point. And this is automatically deployed at a GitHub page. So you can sort of basically press the fork button and then run your own client from this GitHub page. So that's another road you could take. You need to learn a little bit of Git. But yeah, for some people, this is a very attractive way as well. So the good news is that all this linkability, all this connectivity is just an HTML file and a 3D model file. So here it's a GLB, but it could also have been an FBX, OBJ, or any future format which the client supports. So there's various ways to get started with this. Also, let me remind you, there's also the share button. It presents a download scene file. So whenever you come across an interesting experience, you can download it directly and remix it, re-upload it, do whatever you want. This is a very, very liberal way of consuming and producing 3D content without complex server architectures or proprietary metaverses. All you need is an HTML file and a 3D model file. And hopefully in the future, browsers will natively support viewing 3D model files with XR Fragments. All right, this was it, and see you in the next video. Cheers.